Hey y'all, welcome back. This is going to be a short video of me making Choupique patties. The husband was hungry for some Choupique patties, and we actually had some last weekend, so we had some meat left, and I decided I would go ahead and make that for supper. So, Choupique is a type of fish, for those who don't know, and some people might fillet it and just eat it that way regularly, but I don't know if I've ever had it that way. Choupique has a different texture from other fish like tilapia or catfish or any of those other fishes. I'm not a fish expert, but it has a different texture, and so we like to make patties with it. So what you do is when you catch the fish, you scale it along the back, all along the top, and then you freeze it whole. And then that way, when you're ready to make your patties, you take it out and let it defrost a little bit. Don't let it defrost all the way because it's just harder to get the meat out that way, or that's what I'm told. I can't do it myself because I just don't have the stomach for it. In fact, normally when I'm hungry for this, I have my mama make it. But you when you take it out the freezer and you let it thaw enough to work with it, and you cut along where you scaled at, where you took the scales off, you cut all along the top of the fish, and you use a spoon and you just scrape out all of that meat. Then you mix in whatever you want. And if you've ever heard of like gar balls or garfish patties, or people do it with salmon. um, I've seen it done with tuna fish. um, you're just basically making a patty with whatever you want in your Choupique. Um, we do onions, bell peppers, celery, green onions. I did put some hot peppers from my daddy's garden in ours because it's just me and my husband that's going to eat it. And we use potato flakes as the binder to hold it all together. Um, if you look this up online, because I did just to show my friend whenever we were talking about it, um, they tell you to use boiled potatoes, and you can do that, but you'd have to boil them and let them kind of cool, so that you can handle them. So the potato flakes is just faster and more convenient. So that's what we do. And like I said, I haven't done it in quite a while. So I could have used a bit more potato flake to hold mine together, but they still came out fine. Um, and then we also are having some fried eggplant from my daddy. And I did just tater tots because I didn't have any fries and I wasn't in the mood to cut potatoes. So the first thing that I'm doing is I made a few small sample balls to, just to taste for seasoning and stuff. And they did need a little bit more seasoning, so I'm actually glad I did this because I don't usually do this step. I just, anytime I'm cooking, I don't usually do a sample. I just go for it. But I thought, well, let me taste and see if it needs anything before I start making the actual patties. You can make them all into balls like this if you would want to. I just, we like them in patties, so that's just what we do. But anyway, um, once your meat mixture is mixed together, this is catfish. I'm cutting up. I was hungry for fish. My husband wanted the Choupique, so I took out both. But this catfish, I'm just cutting it into smaller pieces, so it'll cook faster. I could have cooked those whole, but I didn't feel like it. So I will say I did kind of cook my Choupique patties a little longer than they would have needed to be cooked. And that's just because I'm trying to do too many things at the same time and quickly because, fish and stuff does cook fast. But in the middle of all this, my wrist locked up, and, well, that made it very painful for me to do certain things. It hadn't locked up yet because I'm able to stir that fish. Once it locked up, and it is still locked up the next day here, I can't rotate my wrist at all. Like even to stir my coffee was painful. I have to kind of move my arm all the way from my shoulder instead of just stirring with the wrist. But anyway, yes, it is still locked up this morning, which made brushing hair and everything difficult, but whatever. Um, so here I am making the full-sized patties. My mom actually, she usually makes them even bigger than what I did, but I just went with it, I don't need it to be really, really big. I mean, hers are usually just a little thicker, which may also be why they stay together better. I don't know. Mine are pretty thin, but they had a good flavor. The seasoning was just right, and it was good. I have 1 pack of the Choupique meat left in the freezer from last weekend whenever we did them, and if I'm not mistaken, we had used all of the Choupique that we had in the freezer for that fish fry, so it may be time to just catch some more. I'm not sure. So I'm curious if you have ever heard of Choupique patties. Have you ever eaten Choupique patties? I know my sister watches these videos, and I don't remember if she eats them or not, but if she does, I recall that my mama has to make some without all the onions and stuff in it for like the kids. And if my sister eats Choupique patties, I'm pretty sure it's probably the ones that don't have the onions in it. But I feel like she's not big on fish. I don't know. I can't really remember. Um, Bo, my 9-year-old, he does love fish, but he ain't touching no Choupique patties. And Aubrey, I had fixed her a plate full of just the fried eggplant because she loves that. But I forgot she had eaten a bowl of cottage cheese while I was cooking because I picked her up from her friend's house before I started cooking, and I'm guessing she was hungry. And so I fixed her plate, and she came out of the bathroom from taking her bath and stuff, and she just walks up to me with her plate, and she's going, like this, and I'm like, girl, what? And she's like, I'm not hungry. I just ate cottage cheese. And I said, well, I don't want it. Go put the plate up. So I just dumped hers back into the strainer, and wow, I don't know if y'all can hear that noise outside. They're building a gas station right across the street from here, and sometimes it gets pretty loud out there. So, anyway, the good thing is we had plenty of leftovers. There was fish and Choupique patties left, and there was a good bit of the eggplant left because I did 2 eggplants thinking Aubrey would eat some, and she didn't, so I had all of that left, but that's okay. I have an air fryer, and I will be heating that stuff up for supper, so I will not have to cook today. And that's always a good thing. Now, I will give a tip about the Choupique. If you make these patties, you're going to want to completely clean anything that goes into the Choupique. So your spoon, if you use a scooper like I did, the actual bowl itself, you're going to want to clean that out like immediately, because that fish will stick to everything, and then it's like glue, or it's even worse than glue. I don't know. It's like you cannot get it off. So you definitely don't want to leave that just sitting. I immediately put my bowl in the sink when I was done with it and filled it up completely with water. And then you take, you know, your hands if you want to, but I'm not that person, a scraper or something, and just scrape everything out. That way, none of it has the chance to stick. But anyway, that's what this video was. I mainly just did this, like I said earlier. I was talking to a friend about it, Kaylee, and she had never heard of it. So I was like, well, I looked on Pinterest. I found a recipe for it. Was actually alligator gar, but it also in the title, or in the, you know, and on Pinterest you have to read an entire life story before you get to the recipe. But it said some people call it Choupique, and I was like, no, Choupique and garfish are two different fish, but you can use either of those fish, or salmon and all that, like I said earlier. But I sent her the recipe that I found on Pinterest, and I had told her I'd be cooking that today. So I figured, well, I may as well go ahead and make a little video of it and send it to her. That way she can see how it's done. So this is the food once it's all cooked, and this is the Choupique patties. And that's going to be it for this video. Give it a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.